This is gonna be fun. What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just saw The Lion King. No, not the original version. This is the 2019 version, directed by Jon Favreau. If you guys want to see my thoughts on the original, you can go check out my tier list that I did for all of the Disney Renaissance films a couple of days ago. But today, we're talking The Lion King, the new one. I need you guys in the comments down below. Let me know. All of your thoughts are warranted and welcomed in the comments section. Whether you loved it or hated it, we can all come together, right? No? So after the murder of his father, a young lion prince flees his kingdom only to learn the true meaning of responsibility and bravery. Before I give you guys my thoughts on the movie, I just want to hit on the controversy really quick. And what controversy is he talking about? Well, if you haven't been on Twitter, it's a very divisive place there talking about The Lion King. There are so many people on one side of the fence saying it's a visual effects masterpiece and the lions look so realistic. It's an incredible, visceral experience. And there's people on the other side of the fence saying they hate everything about it. They hate the fact that the animals are not very expressive and it just doesn't live up to the original Lion King. But it's not just, oh, it doesn't live up to it. It completely butchers it and botches the entire premise. My vein in my neck hurts. So you have all these people on this side, and everybody's fired up and angry, and then you have all these people on the other side, and then every now and then you find somebody in the middle straggling that fence, and you're just like, pick one side or the other, pal. This is a war. There are only two sides to a war. And this is not the case for everyone, but The Lion King is the first time in a long time where I've seen people kind of make up their mind before going into the movie. There were like 2 or 3 clips released online, and you basically know that this is a complete remake of the original with a few things sprinkled in here and there, but you know what you're getting with this film, right? So once those clips released, people were able to see how the lions expressed themselves and were animated, the tone and the feel of this movie, what it was going to be. You could tell basically what it was going to be from those clips, and I saw it right there. As soon as those clips were released, I saw some people make up their minds on the movie because the reaction they had to those clips, it was the same reaction they had to the movie, whether it was good or bad. More negative, actually, than positive from the people that I follow on Twitter. But it's one of those films that you kind of know what you're getting before you go in, and because of that, I think a lot of people made up their minds. And for me, I was going in super positive. I saw the clips, and I understand the critique that people have of the lions not being expressive. And I have to be honest, I did kind of start to feel that as the movie progressed. It didn't bother me at first. It didn't bother me from the clips because I always say I want to give the movie a chance. Regardless if I'm impressed with the trailers or the clips or whatever it is, I have to go in with the ability to make up my mind. I don't want to go in with this mob mentality that seems to spread from social medias nowadays. There was a guy that walked out of this movie just now literally quoting tweets that I've heard about The Lion King to his wife or his girlfriend. I don't know.
The inability of the lions to express emotion is ridiculous. Aslan from the Chronicles of Narnia that came out 12 years ago, he is the prime example of an expressive CGI lion.
I understand that critique, but the guy is literally quoting what he saw on Twitter. And it's like, yes, you may feel that way, you may have seen the tweet and it got the gears spinning, but some people just have that mob mentality. So you have to go into a movie like this with nothing on your brain. That being said, as a guy who was really excited for this movie, I understand some of the nitpicks and critiques here. I completely understand if you want expression, if you want vibrant colors like the original Lion King gave us, that's not what this movie is going to give you. And if you want a movie that does things a bit differently from the original, yes, like I said, a few things here, a few things there, some jokes that I found funny, some things hearkening back to other Disney movies, some 2019 jokes sprinkled in here, and I really enjoyed those things. But really, this is a total and complete remake without the colors, without the beautiful stylistic animation that we know from The Lion King. And I know this sounds completely negative, but I want to hit on the positives real quick because it's something that I'm not seeing very much of on YouTube and Twitter and all of these platforms. I just want to talk about what works for this movie, and then we'll get into the negatives. And what works here really are the visual effects. If you ignore everything else, and I know you shouldn't do that when you're watching a movie, but just say you're nominating this for a visual effects category, The Lion King has to win, right? Regardless of if you don't love the color correction, you don't love the grayed out aspects of this movie, just the detail in the animals and the plants and the realistic backgrounds. I mean, my God, it looked like I was watching a nature documentary, except all of the animals were talking, except for the bugs, they were being eaten alive. That's probably really scary. And I would say that's something that's going to catch people off guard, but really, if you saw the trailer and those clips that I was talking about, you know exactly what you're getting with this movie. It's all about the detail within the film, what they do right here, what they do wrong there. And once again, the visual effects, it is just a masterpiece if you only look at that. I also really like Timon and Pumbaa. I mean, I like them in the original, and since it's the same thing here, I like them, but I do like the fact that they're switching up the voice cast. Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner, they both were hilarious together. Their chemistry was awesome. You could feel that. And really, John Oliver did a great job as well. The two performances that did not get to me as much as I wanted them to get to me, honestly, and I hate to say this, and I know some Beyonce fans out there, you're going to get mad at me. The soundtrack was great, but Beyonce as Nala, you know, for me, I just looked at it, I heard it, and I heard Beyonce. I didn't feel that transition into Nala. Now, I do think Donald Glover did a good job, but once again, he didn't have too much to do. His singing was good. Beyonce sung circles around him, as she would anyone. But really, their chemistry is supposed to carry you through those very integral moments in this story, and it didn't work as well as the original. And that's something I feel like I'm going to continue to say about this movie. I like this aspect. Not as good as the OG. I like this part of the movie. Still not as good as the original. And that's the big conflict I'm having with this film, right? I've never really had to judge a movie that is the exact same movie almost as the one before it, except that movie did so many things better, right? The visual effects from that standpoint in 2019, changing the game of CGI, it's something that will be looked upon forever, and people will say The Lion King did that. It gave us photorealistic animals. It is a triumph. You should look at everyone behind the scenes here who worked on the CGI, give them a hand, applaud them for everything that they did. But judging it as a whole, and yes, comparing it to the original, because that's inevitable with a review like this, you have to look at what the original did and say, it did it better. And they also just made decisions. I'm like, why even make that decision? Why pan to the left instead of coming over the rock at the beginning of the film? Why sing Can You Feel the Love Tonight during the daytime? And honestly, I kind of see what Favreau was going for. He saw this as an opportunity to give us photorealistic animals, all the quirks and things that they would do in real life, they do in this movie, from the movements of Zazu to the tics that Timon and Pumbaa had, whether they're turning their head really quickly or just the way that they walk. The detail here is completely ridiculous, and that's something that I think a lot of people are overlooking with this movie. They're paying attention to all of the overwhelming amount of negatives in their minds, and they're overlooking, I think, some truly brilliant aspects. But when you're dealing with The Lion King, I understand why some people are so upset, because it's something that is very close to people's hearts. It's close to my heart. It is my favorite 2D animated Disney movie of all time. I grew up with it. It came out the same year I was born, so we were born together. This movie is a visually breathtaking just rush of nostalgia. The moments that were supposed to give me chills gave me chills. The moments that were supposed to affect me emotionally did not affect me as well as I had hoped. And that's what I can say about this entire movie. I wanted more of an experience out of it. I definitely got it, but once again, it's because it's The Lion King, and judging this movie on its own merits, it's hard to say that it gave me something fresh and new. Once again, still processing one of the harder reviews that I've ever had to do just because it's such a different movie watching experience. I'm still going positive. I'll go 62%. It's just a movie that is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way because of the way that they go about telling the story and the way that they go about showcasing the animals. I am so afraid to look in the comments section right now, but honestly, I appreciate you guys watching this video, supporting this channel. I know I may be in the minority, the majority, whatever it is, I don't care. These are my thoughts. This is how I truly feel. I may be a Disney shill. Nah, I wish Disney was paying me. I have a transmission going out in my car so I could use the money. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Plenty more videos to come. I may or may not have filmed some reactions that I was waiting to put out after this review went up. So once the review's up, be on the lookout because you might get something else tonight. If not, tomorrow morning, more Netflix reviews, and then you have a Disney live action tier list coming out very soon. You guys the best, and I'll see you very soon.